Joined by Kim Jones, the mother of an Ivy League swimmer who competed against transgender athlete Leah Thomas. She's also co-founder of the Independent Council on Women's Sports, and Ethan Bearman, adjunct professor at Loyola Law School, and he's also a liberal California attorney. Thank you both for being with us. Kim, I know when your daughter competed with Leah Thomas at Yale, this was a big deal. Obviously, there was talk among her and other female athletes in the locker room. What did they have to say about this?
Almost unanimously, they felt humiliated, discriminated against, infuriated that there was no leadership sticking up for their dignity and fair treatment. They felt like their effort in sport, their decades of dedication to their sport had been turned into a mockery, where women were just being set aside and asked to consider the mental health and well-being of a single male over their own accomplishments, over their own mental health, and over their own well-being. It was devastating.
And Ethan, obviously there are a lot of people who think that allowing transgender athletes born male is just another form of discrimination against women who've had to make strides in the fight for equality and athletics and other things. What do you say to them?
Well, I don't find that to be discriminatory. However, there is a discussion in this exceedingly rare instance of a biological male who has transgendered into female competing at the collegiate level. As your reporter pointed out, there are 0 athletes in Texas at the collegiate level who are trans. This is an exceptional minority. It's a classic case of focusing on something that is not a significant issue. I believe this can be done through regular NCAA rulemaking, that if somebody has gone through the puberty process as one biological gender, there can be rules against that. Or as your reporter just pointed out, you can measure for testosterone levels as well. But for the right to focus on this, 491 anti-LGBTQ bills, 53 in Texas alone, is focusing on an extreme minority instead of paying attention to the issues that are affecting the majority of Americans. While I feel bad for the women at the collegiate level who faced somebody who had gone through puberty, this is not the level issue that legislatures in the U.S. House need to be dealing with.
Well, I'm so glad you brought that up, because according to a report from Outsports, there have only been 36 transgender athletes to openly compete at the college level. I've got to ask you, in terms of Kim, what you think should be done. What do you say to critics who say, like our attorney here, that this is not so widespread a problem to require widespread legislative action?
It's abusive and gaslighting. The idea that we as women, a majority of the population, have to sign up for rules and governing bodies that refuse to grant us a level playing field or the guarantee of a level playing field is, it's incredibly painful. It's messaging that's directed to every young girl and every grown woman across the country that women just don't deserve fair competition or the reassurance of rules that guarantee our equal treatment in society. Just one girl being asked to step aside for a male body in a sport category that was created to let her achieve and dream is hugely discriminatory. And then the ripple effect of that one male athlete and all the women having to watch the injustice that these girls have to face is, it's a massive mental burden that has sent so many girls across the country into therapy, into believing that society doesn't protect them or care to stand up for them. It's enormously hurtful, beyond the scope of what people realize. And I can tell you right now, it is a huge problem, and we don't understand how many athletes there are, but there are 50 men right now competing in women's cycling alone in the U.S. There are state championships that are being won, podium places being won all across the country at every level, from middle school through high school, collegiate sports, up into the professional ranks and into the Olympics. It is destroying the women who are having to face these unfair competitions.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.